Hi, everyone. Welcome to this new episode of the India Insurtech podcast. Today, I'm joined by Mohammed Anzy, who is the India Managing Director of Guidewire, which is a software services company catering to general insurance companies. Hi, Anzy. Great to have you on this podcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, Prashant.
Let's kick things off by getting to know a bit more about you and your journey at Guidewire.
Yeah, as you mentioned, my name is Mohammed Anzy. I'm the Managing Director and Vice President of Engineering at Guidewire Software in India. Um, been in the enterprise space for the last 19 years, been with Guideware for the last 2 years. Um, I kind of look after the growth and the investment in India and also lead the engineering function for India. Um, I do understand some of you are very new to Guidewire. Just to give you a perspective, as you rightly mentioned, Guideware is a software organization that provides a platform for the property and casualty insurance industry. We started in 2001. We went public in 2012. We have close to 3,500 employees across the world. And again, for us, we have close to 570 customers across different geographies. And yeah, that's where we are. Mm,
Okay. All right.
mm, mm.
I'd like to understand from a product perspective, you mentioned you're a platform for general insurance companies. What do you offer to, the general insurance companies, and what's your, say, value proposition to them?
I think it's one of the key things that we do is the owning the end-to-end value chain of the property and casualty insurance industry, right? Be it the core systems, be it digital systems, analytics, and the different AI products that gets infused into the core application. That's what we kind of do. For us, it's managing the entire value chain, be it policy administration, your claim processing, the billing, and to the customer management. We cover end to end for our company, organization, or the insurers. Yeah.
Understood. Okay. All right. No, I think we'll go to the macro market in the insurance space, right? And I think IRDA aims for an insurance for all by 2047.
Yeah.
The insurance penetration is sub 4%, right? This and it's also dropping in the urban areas and the on the urban space in India. What I want to understand from you, what do you see as the key challenges, that is driving such a low penetration and the drop off in the urban customer base? And what do you think insurance companies should focus on to make that difference, create that impact?
Yeah. I think, Prashant, I think you touched a very interesting perspective, especially on the number side, right? If you really look at the insurance penetration in India, it's slightly less than 4%, while others geographies, it's a very significant number.
That's right.
And also in many of the metro cities, right, you are also seeing gradual decrease in some of the insurance coverage, which is slightly alarming for me. But then I think fundamentally we probably need to look at the larger perspective, right? The insurance for all in 2047. It's a very bold vision that the government has put forward, and it's not just a vision. You also see a lot of actions happening on ground, right? Especially 100% FDI in Indian markets. It's also is something very, very interesting. And for me, when I look at this, what I really see is from an insurance perspective, there's impact on the society that we can create, right? If you kind of establish a large financial safety net with insurance, there is a huge leverage that we have. For me, I think the vision is very clear. There are challenges on the path, but there are a couple of things probably we need to unpack, right? I mean, that's where we need to lead to. For me, from my perspective, I think one of the very foundational problems that we have in India is the kind of lack of awareness, especially on the insurance as a financial instrument, right? And the financial literacy. especially looking at the perspective how the India stack and the UPA has evolved in India, um, especially the entire payment revolution has happened the last 2 years. We didn't see such kind of a larger transformation happening in the insurance industry, right? And um, the, the 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 entire consumption process or the process around insurance is still the legacy applications, right? And also the process is sometimes really complex. I think the first and foremost, I think we probably need to have a greater awareness in the industry or in the market in terms of financial um, um, benefits that an insurance provides. And the second perspective that I really see is in terms of affordability, right? While um, insurance is a great means to safeguard and protect your different capacities. But what I have seen is that even in tier two, tier three cities or towns, at the current price point, it's not really an affordable instrument for people to have it, right?
Mm.
So there is really a critical perception gap which is there, which probably we need to address. And people really do not see that tangible or intangible value associated with an insurance instrument. I think that's something that probably we need to deconstruct, and that needs greater partnership, greater awareness campaigns around insurance across India. I think that's the only way we could do it. The second aspect that I would see is how well we have integrated tech into the entire process, right? I mean, as I mentioned, we had a huge leap with UPI and India Stack, and especially the different payment structures coming in, but we haven't seen that simplified process in insurance industry. I think that's something that we really need to look at it, um, and especially the entire consumption model, right, where you apply for an insurance, get it serviced, the entire from solicitation till the entire claim process. I think that there are too many loopholes in that process that we need to kind of address it with the right technology infused into the process. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, I think a couple of keywords. So you mentioned awareness as being an important aspect, right?
Mhm.
For customers and end users to understand. The second one that caught my attention is the affordability part, right? And you also mentioned about integrating tech into
Mm.
systems. Do you think integrating a technology like yours into core systems of insurers would it decrease the cost? Because now you see insurers across the world are using cloud data platforms to improve their
Yeah.
their core functions, right? Underwriting, fraud detection, etc. I'm assuming you've already impacted a bunch of customers on these areas. Uh, does that increase efficiency, therefore driving lesser costs, therefore driving more affordability? Number one, and number two, what lessons should Indian insurance companies learn from your experiences globally?
I think, yeah, very important. And first, I will touch on the cost part, right? I mean, the cost is a function of how many people or the coverage, right? How many insurance you put out in the market, right? So the more number it's out there, then
Yeah,
you will be able to price it better, right? The second part that you mentioned is technology.
right.
Especially most of us have seen how easy for us to have a UPA app and do the payment
Right.
transaction. I think we should simplify access to insurance products in the same manner, right? People should be able to use their mobile because we have very significant people who are digitally connected through their mobile devices. I think the latest numbers are almost 850 mobile connections are there in India. So it's a very significant number for us. So the moment we have access to insurance products become easier, especially with different formats of insurance like micro insurance and things around that, we'll have a large scale coming into the pool, right? People who are not even connected, and then suddenly they see the impact of insurance. They kind of experience the consumption model, and then they plugged into the larger ecosystem. That's absolutely correct. The second part, what we have seen, what Guidewire has seen over the last several years, um, one of the very interesting conversation I really wanted to bring to you is that almost 74% of insurers in the world still use legacy systems. They haven't even moved to the cloud. Forget
Yeah.
about using a unified data fabric to get insights. They have not even moved to the cloud. So it's a huge, huge opportunity for us, right? An opportunity for people to move to the cloud and get a faster adoption in terms of innovations, get more features on demand, infuse AI capabilities and things around that. And it's a huge, huge opportunity for anyone who would really like to price their product better. The second dimension is you also touched upon the data part. Many of the large customers, they have different products for each of their verticals. For the claim, they have a completely different claim system. For analytics, they have a completely different system. For managing the policies and billing, they have a different system. So it's a kind of a landscape of completely heterogeneous systems which are at play. And forget about having a unified data model. They don't even have a unified data fabric on which they can create insights, right? It's a
Yeah.
huge, huge opportunity. Guidewire has a product which is called Cloud Data Platform, which orchestrates across multiple of these products and create insights into this, right? And again, as you know, right, insurance industry is a very data-rich industry, and
Yeah.
especially in the current talk context, people talk about data is the new oil. But I would go a little further. Data is the fuel. Data is the engine. Data is also the GPS on which insurance industries need to navigate, right? So from that perspective, we are not really, in the insurance companies are not really capitalizing on the data footprint that they have, which ideally means that they are not able to price the product or understand the new market opportunities or create opportunities for getting more customers, especially in terms of new market creation. So there is a very strong disconnect which is there all across the world, and then in India, since we are at a very growing stage, there is so much to learn from the best practices all across the world. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And your journey in India, your journey generally, I think, began in 2017, right? And assuming you have, upwards of, I think you mentioned 400 plus, 450 plus developers now in your
550.
family, 550 in
Hmm.
Bangalore and the Chennai offices. Can you share some insights on this journey, the technology maybe you're building, and so about your technology and how you see this ecosystem sort of evolving in the future as well?
Yeah, I think, Prashant, there is a larger conversation around global capability centers in India, right? Every day you open the newspaper, you will see a lot of news about GCCs or global capability centers.
Yeah.
Um, um, Even before this term was in vogue, I think we identified an opportunity in India, and for us at Guidewire, it was primarily a value conversation. It was not a conversation on cost or scale, but really on a value conversation. That's why we came to India by acquiring a company called Science. It was in cyber risk and assessment space. So 2017, we invested in that startup and we acquired the organization. And then we slowly built incremental values offering value offerings on top of it. That's how we built the cloud data platform. Then we moved to the cloud, the Guidewire cloud platform. We created a lot of core analytics services around that, and just slowly grew the team in India. So in 2021, we started our operations in Bangalore. Now we have two offices, Chennai and Bangalore, and our combined strength at this point of time is close to 550 in both locations, and we have a very strong a growth plan, which was already covered by Reuters in their one of their articles, that we aim to be a 1,000 member strong organization in India by 2028. That's the kind of projection that we have. But rather than the scale, what we are really passionate about is the competencies that India as a country can offer. We have every spread of capabilities in India. Do you need data scientists? You have it here. Do you need exceptional AI engineers? We have it here. We have huge amount of application engineers. We have If you really look at DevOps, we have a huge community of DevOps evangelists here. And and also as an organization, we heavily contribute to open source community. We have some of our open source projects running in the community. We are plugged in heavily into the open source community, and that's also an opportunity that we see in India because as an organization, we greatly benefit from open source, and we really wanted to give it back to the community also. So many of our developers also contribute to the open source community, which is also an extra dimension that we see.
Oh, wow, that's actually
Mm.
fantastic.
Mhm.
I also like to know, and it just goes without saying that we've got to talk about AI and how you're leveraging AI to impact the insurance life cycle within the platform and the capabilities you have. So if
Mm.
you can touch
Yeah.
upon that and tell us how you're leveraging AI in your platform.
So, Prashant, I think I look at AI from a larger sense. It's not just a tech trend. It is going to be a greater shift in the industry.
Yeah,
And in the coming days, you will see a greater impact across multiple of this conversation that we are having. So I will always share this perspective, right? The short-term impact of AI is slightly overhyped, but the long-term impact is significantly underhyped. That's the kind of perspective that I share, right? There is a huge potential in terms of transforming the processes. I mean, I'm not just saying that it will transition from an agentic AI, but I'm seeing that many of these processes will get redefined, completely rewritten in the future, right? I
yeah,
think that transformation potential is very, very huge in terms of AI.
yeah,
But the larger question is that how do we leverage at Guidewire, right? I mean, as I said, right, I mean, even before many of these things were in the mainstream, we started infusing AI capabilities in our stack. We had different ML models available in our data analytics platform, which helps our customers to make the right decisions, which
yeah,
creates much more deeper insights in terms of servicing the policy, creating the policy, and pricing some of the products. Which was already infused. And again, the cyber risk platform that we are talking about, Science, which has already had multiple models available, and even customer has a flexibility to bring their own model. Even before Gen AI become a
that's
very,
good.
very strong conversation in the market, right?
Yeah,
From that perspective, the way we run at Guidewire is every application will have a huge element of a intelligence capabilities infused, so that that helps our customers in much better decision making. But again, to that point, from an industry perspective, the way I look at is slightly different because I think the language models will be a commodity at
yeah,
play in the market, right? What would kind of differentiate organization would be the trust and the support that you build on top of AI, right? But that's going to be a core differentiator in the industry, and that's where responsible AI would come into the picture, right? And again, the dimensions of accountability, transparency, fairness, security, all these would play a very, very huge role, right? And especially in the industry that we currently operate on, these are non-negotiable, right? Every decision that we make in terms of the claims or accepting the claim, rejecting the claim, or any other process behind it, it's need to be backed by data. It's need to be backed by trust, right? I think that's what our customers would like to do, and that's where we play significantly, right? So for me, the trust is going to play a very, very huge role in terms of Gen AI in the coming days, and whoever can deliver that trust and support is going to be very crucial in the success. Yeah.
got it. Okay, all right.
Mhm.
And have you launched some agents? Are you doing something on that front?
We have again we have again we have a platform which is a foundation which gives access to our customers in terms of what our model that they would like to use it. As I mentioned, right, it's a choice that we give to the customers, and at the same time, we infuse AI capabilities at multiple levels in our application. We also support one of the larger pain points for many of the customers, not specifically insurance. Many of the enterprise customers is integration, right? You will
Mhm.
have different APIs across multiple stacks. How do you integrate it? So we have a solution which is built in our platform, which can just look at the endpoints and automatically do the integrations and the testing, which is one of the use cases that we are already delivering to our customers. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
To wrap up, I'd like to understand, what would you like to share as key messages to our listeners? Uh,
Mm.
Also, I'd love to know how India Insurtech Association has supported you in your journey here so far.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. I think we always believe in communities, the power of communities. Again, if you really look at Guideware corporate page, you will see the power of communities boldly written because I think we feel communities can transform the world, right? That's underlying belief that we have. And even for Guideware, we have almost 13,000 practice experts or experts in India working on Guideware platforms as consultants, as developers. So it's a huge community that we have built in India. And for us, I think bringing together the community is a very interesting uh, conversation that we have. And just to give a perspective, in May this year, we had a large community gathering. It's one of the largest Insurtech summit in India or across the world. We had almost 1,600 developers came from different organizations, and with a very single focus of what's next for the future. I think that was a common theme. And then we had very interesting discussions around that topic. And to give a perspective, Indian Insurtech was also one of our partners in that conversation, and it really helped. So again, the way I see it, India is going to be a very huge opportunity, especially the way at which insurance in India is growing, and it's an opportunity for all of us to be together, connected, and drive that impact at scale. Especially when government has put forward a very bold vision in terms of insurance for all by 2047. This calls for a collective action, collective intent, and collective opportunity for all of us to uh, create impact for the people around us. I think that's the way I would say. And India InsurTech is that forum where all of us come together and look at and have those conversations, right? From that perspective, I see a greater opportunity, and there is a greater partnership that we would like to build with Indian InsurTech. Yeah.
Perfect. No, I think
Mm,
we're looking forward to seeing your success here, Angie, and
mm.
good luck to you, your team, and Guidewire as a company.
Thanks, Prashant. Thanks for this opportunity, and would love to have for future conversation. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for your time.
Mm, mm, mm.